Jennifer, your own story, I know once you struck out on your own, you did run into trouble with the law a good amount.
Yes, I was arrested numerous times, but I was also beat up many times by my clients. So I was afraid of clients as well as law enforcement.
And from the fear of your clients, how did you protect yourself? What measures did you take to make sure that you could walk out the door safely?
A lot of times I had to give in to the things that they wanted to keep the peace. I tried. I did a lot of talking my way out of things. A lot of times, sometimes I even had to give money back, which back in my younger years when I was recruited into prostitution and I did have a pimp, I was taught at that time not to ever give back money, and that I would have to come back black and blue before I gave back money. And as I got out on my own, when I was doing in-calls where you're having guys come to you, you don't know who's coming, you don't know where they're coming from, and if they do hurt you, who are you going to report it to?
And how do you think then the internet has changed sex work, having both worked pre-internet and then solo on the internet? How did it change the dynamic for you?
You know what? I think that having the internet now has protected the clients more, because back, I went to New York in the early 80s, and I worked on the streets of Manhattan, and there was a lot of girls who were robbing clients and robbing their guys. And then when internet came out, it kind of protected the clients from stuff like that happening, because he had a cell phone number to go by, he had a picture to go by, and he was able to call and report that type of stuff. Where in the other, when you flip it, if the client does something to the girl or something happened to me while I was on a call, if I was to call the police and report something, I would be taken to jail for prostitution.
And Tracy,
Yes.
your own take, your own experiences on how the internet itself has changed the nature of the sex work industry, and your own experiences when you were working in that industry.
Well, one thing we preferred to do is warn each other when there was a dangerous client around. And we would do that before we would go to the police. There were two reasons for that. One is obviously the police are not our friends. And also it's just more practical, because in any industry you'll find that that's often the case, that you network with other people in your industry. And so we didn't feel like victims necessarily. We actually felt resourceful, because here we are, taking charge of the situation and shutting this guy down and blacklisting him. And there are people who are doing that on the internet. I won't go into too much detail about it because I don't want to, violate their security, but people do use the internet to protect each other, not only to get business. And that's been, a real positive thing. So I don't want to only emphasize the fact that someone is going out alone on the internet and taking too many risks. That happens too, and people should look out for each other more. But I want to point out that the internet can be a way to, to warn other sex workers about thieves, violent people, and sometimes police officers who are pretending to be clients.